All right, Mr. Gheorghiu, so we have another game against Ljubovic.
Ljubojevic, yeah. Ljubojevic,
Ljubovic.
he was our opponent from some other games, you remember.
Yes.
And he was an extra strong grandmaster, I mean, very strong grandmaster, top 10 like this in the world. He was also called in that moment the Yugoslav Tal. I mean, he was playing always very sharp and very tactical positions. He liked, big complications and so on. And he played usually this kind of positions where everybody was, trying to attack and counter attack. And we have a very good example here with our game. So knight f3, c5, and I play d3. This is a quiet move, e3. Normally, white plays always d5 or knight c3 in this kind of position. After e3, black has the possibility to transpose and play a Tarrasch. If black plays now normal d5, knight c3, knight c6, we have a Tarrasch position. It's a little bit better for white. Well, after bishop e7, knight c3, and what did he play now? Castle, yeah.
Yes.
Now it's different because we have some kind of Benoni, but much better for white than the usual Benoni. Why? Because the order is not the normal one. The bishop, instead of being in g7, is in e7, and white has the possibility to play very quickly d5, and that gives always a small edge, but good enough for white, d5. Now the situation is a little bit different because white was threatening already d6, winning a piece, if you are not careful.
Yes,
So he
yes,
has
yes,
to
yes.
take, we take, and we transpose. Now he has to play d6.
Yeah.
Okay, bishop e2, knight a6, castle, knight c7, a4. We don't give the possibility on the other side, to play b5 very quickly, therefore a4 is good. Bishop g4, a4. And now here was the only moment where black could play something different. I mean, he had to take in f3, and white is better after bishop takes f3, bishop takes f3. White has two bishops and, advantage, edge for white, clear advantage for white. But by playing the way he played, white has much more than a small advantage. It's a big advantage, we'll see. Now it's different because he has to go back. If he took in e2, we take with the queen and we have control in c4 and the center, and white is clearly better, It's a very big difference. With the bishop in d7, white has always the advantage on the other side, on the queen side, control of the queen side and the central squares. The advantage is clear for white, here. So knight b5, we play bishop d3. Bishop d3 prepares the idea for white later on. The idea for white is to put the both knights in c4 and in a4, and we have a small paralysis for the black position, We control all the squares. b6, e5, d6, everything is controlled by white. So knight c4, okay. Bishop f6, and finally knight f4. We have this kind of position, clearly better for white. The idea now is to have time to put the knight maybe in b6, then put the bishop in f4, play h3, and attack the pawn from h6 if we have time to play queen f3, queen g3. This is the kind of position that white tries to have.
Queen g3?
No, queen f3.
F3?
Yeah, but not immediately.
Yes.
Finally, we play here. The idea is to play bishop f4.
Yes.
And then h3, the pawn in h3, queen f3, and queen g3. We have control, complete control everywhere, and we try to take a pawn from d6, and we threaten also e5. And if we arrive to play e5, is almost winning for white. So this is the white plan. Black has to play something. So he puts the bishop very well on d4, of course, to have some counterplay. We continue our plan, knight b6, rook b8, bishop f4, and, knight f6. Now, the idea was that we couldn't take in d6 immediately, because he has time to play later on bishop g4, and he escapes. The big difference was here. Instead of h3,
Yes.
knight takes d6 is bad, is not a good move, because he takes simply in d6. We take in d6 and has time to play bishop g4. The only move is to play f3. And then queen.
No,
He
not
attacks
F3.
the queen.
Yes, but he's pinned, right?
Pardon. And then he's winning for black. This is completely winning for black because you lose a piece. You lose the bishop from d6.
Oh, yes.
And that is winning for black. Therefore, it was a big mistake. So h3 is a very good move. So knight takes d6 was a very big mistake for white. Okay, so he played h3. We prepare everything. So h3, we have the same idea. Queen f3, everything is, in this order that I told you before, no? Rook a8. Okay, rook a e1. And he gives the exchange. You see, by playing like this, he has a very strong bishop in d4.
Yes.
That gives a good play for black later on, if he has only the exchange down here. If he has one exchange down, black is more or less all right, has a very strong initiative later on. But he loses the second exchange. That is a problem for black, because now we take in e5, he must take, and now after bishop g5, he can't play something against the threat bishop e7, because if he wants to go on with the knight in e8,
Yes.
after bishop e7, he loses the second exchange.
Yes.
If he plays back, for instance, queen d8, to protect the knight from, he loses at least a pawn with very strong attacker. So we simply can take, for instance, in d7. And he has to take back there, and we take in f6, take back with the queen, and we continue a winning position. So knight e8 is forced, and now it's very bad for him that he doesn't have the move bishop g4. It seems that after bishop g4, he can save the position. But after bishop g4, he's lost immediately after the move d6, and he loses at least a piece, or more. After d6, he's completely lost. So he has to give the second exchange. So he took in b2, I took in f8, he took in f8. Okay, we analyze the position. We have two rooks against two bishops and two knights, two light pieces against two rooks. But it's not very easy to break the defense. The black position is good enough, and it's very difficult to show that we have a very strong attack. The move order again is very important. So queen e2. Maybe it was even better to play immediately king h1. Winning may be a tempo, But we play. Okay, I played queen e2. He played bishop d4, and now I played bishop king h1. So knight c3. That's important because the queen has to move somewhere. Okay. So knight f6 again with tempo now. And now a good move. Bishop b5. And now again, if you take in b5, he has time to take with the pawn and has again some counterplay, because the pawns are very quick, c4, b4, and so on, So bishop c4, very strong move. Now if he takes back, we take with the knight and we control the squares, you see. The knight from c4 is so strong that controls everything, So okay, we have the good bishop there. Bishop e8, he realized that the bishop from b5 doesn't do anything, and he organizes the defense, And okay, here we play g4, h6, the best move.
You try to break.
I try to open the game, by playing somehow the move g5 or f4. This is the two ideas that I have. So f3. Knight g8. That was the mistake. Probably the black was very tired after such a long defense, such a complicated game, that he didn't find in some time trouble. We are both in time trouble. The best move here was still knight h7. After knight h7 is not so easy. Knight h7 was very strong move, defensive move.
Yeah.
But he played knight g5, and after knight g5, we can have our final attack. Okay, g5. Okay, so queen d8, and now we have time to open the game. So f4. Finally, we could open the game. So everything is forced now. He has to take there, and now he has time to take in g5, but it's not enough. So we take in g5, queen g3. Now everything is forced because the position is much too open, and the two rooks play, against the black king. In f8, he's in big danger, you see. So bishop d6, decisive move. Knight f6, he tries to organize still the defense, the final defense. Takes, and everything now is forced. e5, knight h5, no? Queen g4, knight f4, and now the last blow, e6. So if you take with the queen in d6, e7 check, wins immediately. e7 check, queen takes e7, queen c8, and mate. If
So
you take in d6.
if it takes here.
Yeah, e7 check. Now, no moves. If you play king g8 or queen e8, it's mate.
It's
In
mate
c8, yes.
with the queen.
Yeah. So he played, he can play only f takes e6, because if he takes with the knight, he loses at least a piece and the mate later on, And after this, queen takes, again, mate, queen e6 threatens mate. And after bishop f6, knight d7 check, and black resign.
Yeah.
Very beautiful attacking game, So finally, the organizers had some problems. Which one was the beauty prize, against Tarjan or against Ljubojevic?
So two of your games.
Two of my games, yes.
And who won the beauty prize?
They gave
Which
to
game?
Tarjan by respect for Ljubojevic. They didn't want to offense him by to upset him by giving the special prize for beauty prize for his opponent. But the game is very, very, very beautiful.
Also,
yes.
Nice.
You see, again, one move, knight h7 or knight g8. Knight h7 may be,
More resistance.
more resistant, but after knight g8, everything is forced, in a few moves.
You managed to open the lines against the king, and
as long as you can open, the lines for your rooks, the game is finished. Yeah. Because the king is weak, and the two pawns very strong, and the attack is much too strong. Also, with two rooks open like this, is nothing to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Mr.
Very
Gheorghiu.
beautiful example,
Yes.
Each game was something different, you see. But tactical point of view in every game, in every game, like this. And this was, the final one, the most beautiful, let's say, because of the opponent, of course, because the force of the opponent.
Yeah, very strong tactical player.
Yes, of course.
Nice. Thank you, Mr. Gheorghiu.
You are.